Hello everybody, Gamer Penny here, bringing you another episode of our Final Fantasy XIV Online Let's Play, and we are back with Vesper. Today, we're going to continue on the role quests that we took on last time. Let's talk to Clem here. My lords, I am so sorry. I informed His Grace that you were making your way hither, but shortly before you arrived, he recalled that he had urgent business and had to leave the cathedral at once. He cannot have yet gone far, though, so if you wish to search for him in the hopes, you can still steal a moment of his time. Grant us an audience only to depart with such haste. What business could be so pressing? Yeah, something's up. Something's up. Where do you suppose he is? Not around there. Was he down? There he is. Bartinoy. Artoirel. But, well now, that even the savior of Ishgard should be here. Your Grace, perhaps 'tis simply our misunderstanding, but we were under the impression that you had granted us an audience. Lord Speaker, rest assured I was just about to return to the cathedral. There's no need, Your Grace. This will not take long. As you may have heard, we are investigating a young man named Vaindrew. Is he known to you? No, I cannot say he is. With the exception of the former Archimandrite, I am sure I know no one by that name. But mine and the Archbishop's are known to many, yes? Perhaps this youth took inspiration from public services over which we presided. Goodly soul that he is. Full glad am I that his faith was a comfort to him in sickness. And I pray to Helone that he will soon be found in good health. Now then, if there was nothing else, I shall return to my duties. Uh-oh. Echo. Just a young kid. Fear not, Your Eminence. I shall carry on your legacy. We have completed the preparations as per your instructions, but are you certain this will work? It will. It must. Lord Amerix spoke the truth when he revealed the Archbishop sought primal powers to strengthen the people's faith. I could not bring myself to believe it, not at first. But in the course of cataloging His Eminence's personal articles, I came upon his journal. Therein he had written that, through abundant aether and fervent prayer, it is possible to make gods of men. All the power we require lies in this place, this Aziz law. By channeling the essential elements into the soulless flesh and sword, we found... We shall summon forth King Thordan and his knights 12, and by his blessing Ishgard shall be restored to its former glory. So they were basically sacrificing this poor guy, and then he turned into a blasphemy? Guy's down on his luck, man. How big that sword is. Well, what is this? It's just an ordinary man, scarcely changed from before. His Eminence, I must protect. No, no, this isn't right. Confound it, perhaps I overlooked something. I must return to the Holy See and review the journal. Your Grace, what shall we do with this thing? Leave it. 'Tis a failure without use or value. The denizens of this place will deal with it soon enough. Dang, dude. Have a heart, my guy. Oh. That poor guy. I feel awful. Vesper, are you well? Were you perchance granted a vision of the past? An attempted summoning of King Thornton and his Knights 12. Your Grace, you should know full well that summoning is strictly forbidden. You will accompany us to the congregation and explain yourself. He's gonna turn evil. I have dedicated my life to the church, conducted my affairs in accordance with the scriptures, and taught others to do likewise. But you took it all from us, tore down everything that defined us. You cannot know how it feels to have your very existence rejected, to be forsaken by your community, to be denied by your society. Well, I deny you and this justice. I deny in Ishgard where the church has no place. I refuse to accept it, do you hear me? I refuse to accept it. You're blasphemy. Oh dang, my boyfriend! See him do that? Your Grace! No! That it should come to violence yet again. Would that your hand had not been forced, my lord. Deacon Clem should not be alone at this time. I shall remain with him while tending to the aftermath. When things have settled, I will return to the congregation. Pray go on ahead and get some rest. Sorry, Clem. Amric just walks off like a badass. Speak with Amric in the strategy room. Okay, we gotta go to the bathroom. One over here. Coming through, ladies. Go up here to the strategy room. I just realized I left my drink upstairs. I was looking around my whole desk for it. I have one of those L-shaped desks, and I was like, there's gotta be a drink on this desk somewhere, but there's not. Forgot it upstairs. How fares the deacon? Well enough, given the circumstances. Though understandably shaken, he is more determined than ever to help his fellows. Truly, he is possessed of a stout heart. But to think that even a member of the Synod could succumb to despair and turn. This crisis gripping the church is far graver than I had imagined. In pushing for such an abrupt separation of religion and state, we may have exacerbated the growing divide between the clergy and the general populace. Vesper, will you recount in full that which you witnessed in your vision? That he should seek to use one of Alag's unholy abominations to create a primal. Yet that which manifested was not like the being you fought, but rather retained the form of a man, one driven by the desire to protect the Archbishop. You may safely assume the bishop did not have sufficient aether. Bereft of Nidhogg's eye, the sword Ascalon no longer has such power. But if the summoning failed, how did the clone come to possess life? And what purpose drives it? Lack of aether notwithstanding, the necessary components were present for a summoning. Perhaps the ritual itself was a success, and the vessel, though imperfect, arose as a champion of the Archbishop. Yet how did he come to be in the Central Highlands? You believe that this clone and the man who became the blasphemy are one and the same? Nay, I merely speculate. Yet considering what we know of the clone and Vaindro, I'm gonna butcher that name every time, it would seem a likely possibility. Whatever the truth may be, it will not elude us forever, but first, I must lay some groundwork for the next phase of our investigation. God's permitting, I will have news to share ere long, so pray look in on us when you can. Okay. Got another one for me? Ah, Artoirel. Will's unending, faith unbending. Vesper, you are ever a sight for sore eyes. Ill tidings, my friends. I dispatched the Temple Knights to find the clergymen who aided in Bishop Vartinoy's summoning attempt. Regrettably, when confronted, all turned and had to be put down. Without their accounts, how then to ascertain that the clone of Vaindru are the same individual? Maintaining the assumption that they are, perhaps we should instead consider how Vaindru may have found his way to Korthus. According to Vesper's vision, he was abandoned in Az's law. But what did he do afterwards? Then there is but one way to ascertain the truth. We follow his trail. I shall go and search for the clone in Az's law. If he is still there, then we are dealing with a different individual. Splendid idea. We leave the floating continent in your capable hands. Meanwhile, Vesper and I shall retrace Vaindru's steps whence he first appeared. Upon being found in the Central Highlands, he was taken to Camp Dragonhead. Let us begin by making inquiries there. Okay, Artoirel, I'm gonna need you to be really careful though. Az's law is not for the faint of heart. And, I can't have anything happening to you. Your father has gone through enough. Ask about Vaindru at Camp Dragonhead. Do 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 do. They all ballin'. Investigating the stranger we found, are you? I wasn't involved myself, so I can't tell you much about the fellow. But in case it is of interest, earlier the same day I caught sight of an airship flying dangerously low. It soon disappeared into the brewing snowstorm, looking none too steady. Airship flying low. Oh. Ninny. Well now, if it isn't the late Lord Horshafont's dear friend, is there something you require? Ah yes, the mystery man. I was among those who tended him. He was not tired for the snow, much less the snowstorm in which he had been caught, and was suffering from frostbite. When people are extremely cold, they may mistakenly feel that they are warm and disrobe. That might explain his state of undress. Okay. The late Lord Horshafont's friend. Oh. My feelings. Something out there. Fate. Remember when we used to run in here and Horschiffant was there? Yael. It's a Manolane, an Honoroi. Ah, 'tis ever an honor to receive you. What brings you to our humble camp this day? An injured man who was found out in the wilds. Yes, I know the one. I was with the patrol that chanced into him north of here at Providence Point. He was unconscious and in a bad way, and we hurriedly bore him back to camp. After doing what we could for him, we sent him on to the city. Okay. Can I talk to him, Manolane, real quick? What ho, my good lady! We certainly had the most remarkable of adventures in Garlemald, which I've been explaining in great detail to Honoroi ever since my return. I only wish he could have been there with us. Honoroi, how are you? Lord Manolane's spell of absence afforded me time to return to my writing. I must admit that life was rather duller without him, though not necessarily for the worse. Whoa! I'm Kitten is watching the guy. Whoa! Amaric? There you are. Were you able to learn aught of interest? Here, here, and here. Probably gonna go look for this airship, huh? A mysterious man found collapsed after an airship was seen flying low. Yes, the accounts I heard are consistent with yours. I, for one, am curious about the fate of this unknown airship. To that end, I have arranged a pair of black chocobos for us, the more efficiently to scour the area. We shall contain our search to Providence Point, where Vandrew is said to have been found. If you are ready, let us be off. Yeah. Whee! We're having fun with Amaric. Look at him on his chocobo. Oh god, I have no control over this, by the way. Get it, Amaric. Where are we going? Nothing so far. Let us continue northeast. This is absolutely ridiculous. But I love everything about it. I love Amaric on his little chocobo. You find the airship? Is that a dragon? Is that the blasphemy? Leaping by the airship. By the fury, it's the blasphemy! Ouch. Echo, echo, echo. His Eminence must protect His Eminence. Ah, you're finally awake. Alone be praised. How are you feeling? Strong enough to speak? Can you tell me your name? My name is Zephyrin? No. Cheribert? Or was it Velguin? Pelcrane? So many names swirling in my mind, and voices that reject them. Do none they will accept? Are you alright? Vaindrew. My name is Vaindrew. Well now, that's the same as our infirmary. I dare say fate has guided you to us. So Vaindrew, if you are feeling up to a little conversation, can you tell me about yourself? Anything else you remember? Anything at all? Proud son of House Zemael. Nay, a devout servant of Halone, who lives for the rush of battle, the pleasure in inflicting pain, the attentions of maidens, to fight beside my brothers in arms. So he's feeling like a low-born runt, whose every effort went unrewarded, whose very name disqualified him from ever leading the temple knights. But his eminence raised me up, granted me a place at his side. From that day forth I pledged my sword to his service, pledged my very being, my life to be offered up in defense of his. I am a knight of the Heavens Ward, sworn to protect and serve the Archbishop. Oh, you're a knight. Forgive me if that sounded rude, but I had no idea. And, while I realize your memories may be a bit muddled, I'm afraid I must inform you that the Heavens Ward have not been seen in quite some time and are presumed dead, and the Archbishop, well, he is most certainly no longer of this world. Oh. But the important thing is you're safe now, and we'll help you get back on your feet. Speaking of which, let me bring some food and water. You must be absolutely famished. The Archbishop, dead. No, this cannot be. How can I still be alive when he is not? I must find him. And then he wanders off. So was he like they said he was a clone. Is it was he no one before this? Vesper. Uh-oh. For the glory of King Thornton. Shout Amaric. Another vision, I take it. Let us make for Ishgard. I expect that Lord Archwarel will return soon, if he has not already, and we should both be glad to hear your tale. Whee! Let's ride our chocobos back to Ishgard. Okay. I don't want to be here. Want to be Man, the Heavens Ward flashbacks are in full effect. Alright, let me talk to these guys here. Archwarel! Ah, Vesper, I pray your search was more productive than mine own. Everyone is here. Excellent. So we were able to find our clone in Azazla? Nay, not but the discarded Ascalon remained. How fared you with your own efforts in the Central Highlands? In the course of retracing Vandro's steps, we came upon the wreck of the Solil. I suspect he found the vessel abandoned in Azazla and tried to use it to return to Ishgard. But he crashed en route and was subsequently rescued by a patrol from Camp Dragonhead. So it would seem, and the Archbishop's airship was not the only thing we found. Profane Fafnir was there too. The creature chose to flee, but not before Vesper had a vision of Vandrew's past. Go on, my friend, share with us what you witnessed. All the pieces fit, and it is as you surmised, my lord. Vandrew and the clone are one and the same, and in his despair he turned into the blasphemy. Yet the confusion he exhibited when asked his name, 'tis as if he wasn't sure of his own identity. According to the Scions, primals retain the memories of their previous incarnations. From this, it may be assumed that the clone harbors the memories of all those who became King Thordan and his Knights 12. Though he struggled to reconcile these conflicting memories, he managed to settle on the name Vandrew. The voices within were clearly in agreement when facing Vesper, the mere sight of whom drove the blasphemy to flee. Above all, however, they share in the desire to protect the Archbishop. This desire was seared into Vandrew's very being, and when he learned that he no longer had a purpose... The Heavens Ward took up arms against us in Ishgard, but by their hand were we robbed of one of our finest knights and a dear friend. Even so, I would not wish such a terrible fate upon them. Selfsame fate inflicted upon full many clergymen, and a fate I fear ordinary citizens will succumb to if we fail to act. The people will not soon forget the betrayal of our church's leadership, nor should they. But absent the comfort and stability once afforded to them by the institution, many have become lost, and are all too vulnerable to despair. The church can still be a source of comfort, but things need to change. I thought as much myself, my friend, but to hear you say it as well. Indeed, when the ground upon which we stand crumbles, we must find the strength to move forward, even should it cause us pain to do so. Lord Archwarel, at the next house session I shall call for an ecumenical council to be held. What's that? What is that? My lord, such a gathering is reserved for... Oh. You intend for the church to codify new doctrine. Since the separation of religion and state, we have refrained from interfering in church affairs, but if the church is to remain a part of Ishgardian society and continue serving the people, it must reconsider its role and formally address recent revelations. I would call for this council not as the Lord Speaker, but as a humble adherent of the faith. Long had I considered whether such measures were necessary, but lacked the courage to set them in motion. I now have it thanks to you. I shall tend to the necessary preparations at once. Among other things, we must reach out to those of the clergy who are amenable to reform. I ask for your patience in the meantime. You have another quest for me? You do. 89. Almighty Fury, guide us to victory. Coconut cod chowder, yum. Ah, Vesper. Owing to Lord Americ's swift action, I am pleased to say that the Ecumenical Council will soon be held. In case you are unaware, the Council is the highest assembly in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Its purpose to deliberate and decide upon doctrine. The previous one was held no less than 80 years ago, and 4 archbishops have since come and gone. As such, most Ishgardians know little of it save that which they have read in the historical records. Traditionally, the archbishop and members of the synod would meet behind closed doors. In light of Bishop Vartano's fate, however, this time the doors will be thrown open to the public. Oh, hey, Clem. Indeed, for the first time in history, all men and women of the faith may have a hand in shaping the mission and the teachings of the Church. 'Tis my hope that you will also join us in this endeavor. Deacon Clem, allow me to express our gratitude for your efforts in facilitating the council. We appreciate the difficulty of your position. I merely heed my conscience and my faith, my lord. Acting in Bishop Vartano's stead, I shall do all within my power to see that the church may serve the people once more. Where is the Lord Speaker, if I may ask? He stepped outside for a moment, saying that he wished to gather his thoughts ahead of the council. The hour draws nigh, however. Vesper, I shall proceed to the vault with the good deacon. In the meantime, may I ask you to find Lord Americ? He should be at the last vigil, I believe. Sure, I'll find my boy. I'll find my boy. I wonder what the other job roles are. I did not do them on my main character. I was saving it for this. The last vigil. Americ. There he is. There's our boy. Hey, bud. Oh, 'tis you, my friend. Is it time already? I see. My apologies for making you come and fetch me. I've been thinking, Vesper, on the path I have chosen to walk, and on those who have been left behind as a consequence of my actions. Those who died fighting, those burdened with boundless grief, those deprived of position and purpose. Like any nation, Ishgard is made up of disparate souls and disparate beliefs. Without an enemy to unite us, we recall the differences we once set aside out of necessity, and find amongst our old friends new ideological foes. The future I had envisioned, 'tis far more difficult to secure than I ever imagined. What must I do for our people to live in harmony, for our nation to move forward as one? Such questions I have been pondering. We should begin making our way to the council. Shall we continue our conversation while we walk? If this is an escort quest. Where? It is. Ready? Then let us be off. If it is agreeable, I would like to look on Fortom's manor. Alright, come on. It feels like another age that you and yours were no more than foreign wards of House Forton, and in actual fact it may be considered so. For your coming set in motion a chain of events that brought an end to the Dragonstone War, ushering in a new age of harmony. You paved the way for meaningful change in our nation, and for that you shall ever have my gratitude. Now then, shall we continue to the architects? Up to the architects, huh? Americ. King Thordan and his knights 12, the murderers of Ratatoskr. Since the truth of their ancient crime came to light, many have demanded that these images be torn down. Yet though what our founding fathers did was wrong, neither is it right to simply expunge them and their deeds from history. To do so would be to deny our people's part in what followed for 1,000 years. Yes, Amaric. Yes, I agree with this. I think you should not tear down history. We have the chance to forge a new future, but we, as a nation, must decide how we will confront our past. Forgive me, I was lost in thought yet again. Let us join Deacon Clem at the vault. I knew I liked Amaric. Hey, Clem. There you are, my friends. The council is about to convene. Let us take our place in the audience hall. Esteemed members of the clergy and honored adherents of the faith, I thank you all for your attendance. In recent days, our nation has been racked by a series of tragedies. Those among us who do Halone's work have been transformed into abominations. This dreadful phenomenon has been brought about by the final days, and it is upon our despair and anguish that it feeds. Thus, if we are to prevent further tragedy, we must strive to ensure that all Ishgardians, clergymen, and citizens alike abide with peace and love for one another in their hearts. To that end have I called this ecumenical council, the first in generations, that we might together determine a path forward for the Church and our society as a whole. Since antiquity, the Ishgardian Orthodox Church served the people in two respects: as the Fury's spear to strike at the heart of dragonkind, and as the Fury's shield to safeguard the souls of men. But now that we are at peace with the Dravanians, the Church need no longer serve as the spear, and so we must now reconsider how we might better serve as a shield for our brethren. The hierarchy must be reformed, and for that we need accountability. The upper echelon must be stripped of rank at a minimum, and investigations conducted, trials held, if the evidence is sufficiently damning. And then we may turn our attention to the doctrine of lies. Jeez, dude, that seems kind of rough. As our predecessors did before us, we of the Synod have ever sought to interpret the scriptures to the best of our ability, and thence conveyed Halone's will to the people. Such fervent pursuit of retribution at the expense of doctrine would come also at the expense of our faith. Have we won the war to lose our souls? Oh, Halone, are we outside your grace? No, don't turn, don't turn. Calm down, everybody, don't turn. Don't be despaired. This bodes ill. At this rate, someone might turn. Since the war's end, the Church and the faithful have stood at a crossroads, unable to take the next step forward. His Grace Bishop Vartuno, may he walk in Halone's halls, was one such soul, and in his longing for simpler times he resorted to using forbidden magics. He succumbed to despair. In our minds we renounce the lies upon which our nation was built, but in our hearts we yearn for the righteousness, misguided though it was, that gave us comfort and purpose for so long. So let us not forget who we were. Let us confront the mistakes of the past and learn from them, that we do not repeat the mistakes of our forefathers. As fervently as we believed in our sacred duty, we struggled to accept the Church's deception and embrace change. The legacy of Thornton weighs heavy, and there is the temptation to simply cast it aside like a mantle that suits us no longer. Yet that would dishonor the sacrifice of those who went before, countless souls who served the people with purest intent. And so heavy though it may be, let us together bear this burden as we set forth anew. Our friend Vesper risked life and limb to reveal the truth to us. The truth that our legends and our scripture were tainted by betrayal, but not wholly corrupted. Though the great walls and towering spires of our city may have been built with murder and deception, they rest upon a foundation immutable and true, our devotion to Helon, whom we have worshipped since before our forefathers settled these lands. The Church is a font of practical wisdom, and its teaching guide us in our daily lives. Such things define our faith no less than the lies. We can acknowledge our sins without renouncing our religion. Excuse me. And without rejecting who we are. A comprehensive review of scripture as well as historical literature will be necessary. Revisions, as appropriate, must be made to ensure that the truth of our past is preserved for future generations. With your peerless knowledge of church doctrine, I dare say none is better suited to leading that effort than you. I also expect that many eyes will be required to pore over all the tomes, and I know many idle men and women of faith who would jump at the chance to do Helon's work once more. That day, so very long ago, I had no answer to my father's words, but it seems the people had it within them all along. That's cool. Brown, brown, brown. Cambridge. The council went better than I had dared hope. Truly, while the details remained to be decided, 'twas a resounding success. Your words helped everyone to find common ground. I know not how to thank you. Much credit must go to Vesper. In the face of great hardship, never did she hesitate to press on, and our people have not forgotten this. Indeed, well do I remember the day you flew into Ishgard upon a dragon's back. In making possible the impossible, you inspired us all. In you we glimpsed the fury, a vision of courage in the face of uncertainty. Looking to your example, we shall endeavor to bring about change to the Church, and for the future of all Ishgardians. There will, of course, still be those souls who struggle to rise above the mire of despair, but my fellows and I shall be there to take their hand in faith and love. For what is faith, if not salvation? Well, I had best return to the cathedral. We have much and more to do. Ere I forget, I have tracked down that which you requested. Some repairs will be necessary, but it will be seen to with all haste. What did you have them track down? Your ship, the Solio? I had tasked the deacon with finding a certain item, you see. A secret weapon, one might say. Given what we know of Profane Fafnir, I suspect it will be of great use in our hunt. Once the repairs are complete, we shall be ready to strike. With the Church having reached an accord with the people, the risk of more clergymen turning is greatly diminished. We may now focus entirely on the blasphemy. 'Tis time we freed Vandrew from his torment. Rest while you can, Vesper, for I dare say the coming battle will demand the best of us. Alright. Thank you for the coconut cod chowder. And I think that's all we can do right now. I think we are, bottomed out. Yep. Alright. Well, that was the job role quest. We've got one more to do at level 90, so when we get to level 90, we'll come back and do this. I gotta remember that it's here. Here in Foundation. Oh good, it's on the map. Evermarch Heavensward. Aww. Oh, I have a lot of feelings about Heavensward and Endwalker and Dawn Trail, and I've got a lot of emotions. Alright, but I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here, and when we come back, we'll continue on the main story quest. How about that? We'll go talk to Millil, and as soon as we get 90, we're gonna come back and do this, but we're not quite there yet. So guys, I want to thank you so much for all of your support on this series. If you do want to see more, if you do want to see more of the Final Fantasy XIV online Let's Play, make sure to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Alright, bye-bye everyone.